Hey everybody, and welcome to Pals Chat. We are doing 1981 in review. I am your host, Gina Parker. So we'll start with Tara and Jim. Chuck proposed to Tara, but she eloped with Jim instead. Jim got a job offer out of town in Oregon, and they moved. Then we have Tad. Carrie's boyfriend Jerry sold drugs to Tad. Tad came clean with his parents, but then he ended up drinking and smoking pot and got into a car accident with his friend Bob. He faced charges due to Bob's injuries and got grounded by his parents. Tad was bullied in town and thought his parents might divorce, so Tad stole money from Kate and left town. Then we have Wally and Betsy and Devin. So Devin continued her drinking after losing Sean. Devin was drinking while watching Bonnie, and Bonnie got hit by a car while drunk. Bonnie was recovering, but Devin was devastated. She tried to kill herself, but Wally and Betsy stopped her. Wally told Devin to go to AA or he'd take Bonnie away. Devin ended up going to rehab. Betsy moved in to help Wally with Bonnie. Wally and Betsy end up falling in love. They confess their love for each other, but Devin comes back from rehab. Ellen demands Betsy leave her house. Wally asks Devin for a divorce. Devin confronts Betsy and tells her to back off her husband. Betsy pushes Wally away and begins dating Rick Kincaid, even though she has no feelings for him. She just wants to discourage Wally. Thinking Betsy has moved on, Wally and Devin give their marriage another shot in St. Louis. Erica begins seeing Brandon Kingsley, not knowing he's married with children. He lied for a long time that he was divorced, but Sarah eventually revealed the truth. Erica demanded he get a divorce. Sarah agreed to give Brandon a divorce, but only if he and Erica didn't live together and weren't seen together while the divorce was in progress. A rich man named Kent Bogard began stalking Erica, but he was also trying to romance her. His stalking caused Brandon to reach out to the police multiple times about Kent, but Erica was drawn to him and his money. She considered leaving Sensual to work for Kent because he has his own cosmetics company, which is why he was seducing Erica. But Kent's father, Lars Bogard, says no, he doesn't want Erica in the company. So Erica returns to Brandon and their engagement, but not before Brandon sleeps with his ex wife, Sarah. Then we have Daisy and Sean. Daisy and Sean continued to date while Sean was secretly trying to find her identity. He eventually did find out the truth. Daisy fell in love with Sean, but he was always planning to ditch her for her rich daughter, Nina. He was dating her at the same time at some times, but Daisy and Sean still became engaged, which brings us to Cliff, Nina, and Sybil. Nina dated Sean while he also dated her mother, Daisy, but then Cliff and Nina got back together. They decided to adopt Bobby, but Palmer was always getting in the way, running interference with Sybil. Palmer hired Sybil to threaten to put her baby up for adoption. Sybil got murdered. Cliff found her body and got suspected of the murder. The murderer turned out to be Sean, trying to intimidate Sybil to go along with their plans. He tried to flee. He tried to rob Palmer's mansion, but Myra caught him and sent him to prison. So Tom and Brooke got married at the beginning of the year. Brooke's father, Ed, died. He was a drug runner. Brooke and Tom got threatened into becoming drug runners too, but worked with the government to take down the drug ring. The man running the drug ring, Manning, tried to rape Brooke, but Tom helped save her. The head of the drug ring, Cobra, turned out to be Brooke's mother, Peg. Peg was arrested. It was revealed in Brooke's father's will that Peg was not Brooke's biological mother. Peg was killed in prison before she could reveal who was the biological mother. Langley planned to take Brooke's inheritance at one point. It didn't work. Sham blamed Tom for his arrest for Sybil's murder. Tom drank for a while. Sean wanted Tom to help him escape prison, but he refused. Palmer kept Chuck and Donna apart as he romanced her. Palmer and Donna got married when Chuck failed to stop the ceremony. Palmer told Donna that he wanted to have children with her, but he knew he was sterile. After it came to light that Palmer was trying to frame Cliff in Sybil's trial, Donna left him. Palmer was mugged and got amnesia. He worked at Foxy's for a bit. He began to remember a time when Daisy was his wife and Nina was a baby. So everyone got Daisy to move back into Cortland Manor so that he could get his memory back. He treated her as his wife. As more memories came back, Palmer worried he was losing his mind. Then we have Chuck and Carrie. Chuck began seeing Carrie. They eventually broke up. Chuck began seeing Carrie's roommate, Melanie Sawyer, but Carrie remained in love with Chuck. Chuck turned to Carrie for help with Melanie's hallucinations. Frank reunited with his long-lost sister Ellie just before she died. Frank agreed to take in her son, Jesse Hubbard. Jesse had a lot of behavior problems. He refused to go to school until his friend Jenny Gardner tutored him. He accidentally started a fire but saved Carl from it. Frank tried to stand by him through all of his stuff, talking back to teachers and stealing, but Nancy didn't want Jessie in her home and near Carl. Phoebe and Langley. So Langley fired Benny, but Myrtle blackmailed him into rehiring Benny with a raise. Langley thought about killing Phoebe. He schemed to take Brooke's money. He schemed to take Phoebe's money, and he wanted to mistreat Benny and Estelle, but throughout the year, Myrtle, Donna, and Link all blackmailed him to keep him in line. So the whole year he's just getting blackmailed by people. Then we have Paul and Anne. Paul began to crack down on drugs in his office as an elected official, and he began receiving death threats. Carrie's ex-boyfriend Jerry killed Anne in a bomb meant for Paul. Paul was recruited to help break up the drug ring run by Cobra. And so he helped with that, and he dated a woman named Louisa Dorsey who defended Cliff in his trial. So Ellen and Mark were married this year. Then Ellen started working all the time. Mark didn't like that, and Ellen also didn't want to have children. They started fighting a lot. Ellen and Mark fought over Wally and Betsy as well when that was all going on, and by the end of the year, Mark had left Ellen. Then we have Benny and Estelle. Benny and Estelle got married. People assumed Benny was the father of the baby when really it was Billy Clyde Tuggle. Langley found out the truth but was blackmailed into silence. Estelle went into labor and gave birth to Emily Ann Sago. And Benny developed a gambling problem. So we have the Kurt, Leora, Joe, Ruth thing. Joe and Leora began to have an affair. Ruth decided to fight for her marriage, and Joe agreed. Kurt continued to assault Leora as she tried to get a divorce. Kurt agreed to grant the divorce if Joe and Leora didn't turn him into the police for all of his assault and trying to strangle and beat her. They agreed. So that happened. The divorce happened. Ruth asked Joe for a divorce when she realized he was in love with Leora, but Joe decided to fight for their marriage, and Leora left town. So Jenny Gardner came to Pine Valley and befriended Jesse Hubbard. They both worked at Foxy's. Jesse saved Jenny from being raped by a talent agent that Opal met. She also befriended Palmer, who worked there while he had amnesia. Jenny began dating Greg Nelson, but Opal, Liza, and Enid tried to keep them apart, but Jesse was on their side. Opal Gardner came to town with Jenny. So Opal and Jenny are, well, Opal's Tad's biological mother. Jenny is his biological sister. Opal came to town and schemed to stay with the Martins and steal their money. She forced Jenny to work at Foxy's rather than go to school. The Martins found out and told Opal to let Jenny have a childhood. They also kicked Opal out, and so Opal and Jenny went to live with Myrtle. Opal pursued Paul Martin for his money, but he was not interested. All right, everyone, welcome to Pals Chat. I am Gina Parker. I'm here with Sadie Teal.
Hello, hello.
What's your thing for this week?
Well, if we're talking about things that nobody's gonna know anything about, I just watched a video where a guy decided to eat Chipotle for 30 days and weigh the different meals that he had to see if the serving sizes were consistent. And I just got to the findings, and it turns out the answer is no. But it was like a 50-minute video that at first I was watching and being like, this is stupid. And then I got sucked in.
Well, you wanted to know the findings, of course.
I had to know, of course. Is it inconsistent? And also, turns out if you order online, you're getting less. Let's just say that.
Oh, that is
There's a
good
whole
to know.
conspiracy. Well, I think honestly, what they say is like they just load it up when people are in store because otherwise, people throw shit. Online, nobody, don't have to face anyone. Just throw it in the box.
Yeah, that's something about Chipotle specifically where they actually make it in front of you. A lot of places don't. So
Very true.
you're
But
actually
yeah, so yeah,
watching.
that's a very, very interesting stuff, I'm sure. How about you?
Well, thank you for that helpful life advice. Now we know. Girls Five Eva. Have you watched that one?
I've heard some good things about the show. Tell me about it.
So it's basically a girl group from the 90s, a la Spice Girls, decides to. Actually, I'm using the wrong mic. I just noticed now that I'm using the wrong mic.
Oh no! Should we start
That's a
over?
no, 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 no. We've already wasted time.
It's
Your
okay, I
precious
don't mind.
your precious sleep time.
Oh, it's all
Um,
good.
so it's basically a girl group from the 90s that they broke up in the 90s and then they decide to reunite at their present age. So it's Sarah Bareilles, the singer, Renee Elise Goldsberry from Hamilton, Paula Pell from like Saturday Night Live fame, and Busy Phillips from
Oh,
Dawson's
nice.
Creek and Cougar Town. And they're a girl group trying to make it now. And it's very short. So if people want to watch it, I think you could watch the whole series up until now in one day because it's like half-hour episodes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've heard it's hilarious. Is it good? How does it stack up? You say it's good. How does it stack up to Together?
Well, we don't have Lady Rand this episode, but I feel like it would be her recommendation together, which
Yeah,
is which is so important to us as a friend group, that movie and
so
subsequent TV show. Um,
absolutely.
which talks about five together and all that fun stuff. I don't know if Together is a good movie. I just know that we love it.
Definitely, I think it probably wouldn't hold up, and I would never recommend it to anyone. But I do, I'll hold a big place in my heart for that movie. Me, plus sign, you, equal sign, us. I remember doing
Me.
that way too much with Lady. Yeah.
And the hardest part of breaking up is getting back your stuff.
Yeah.
That was another classic. Rub One Out was one of the songs of the rival boy band in that. Um,
So good.
anyway, yeah, I would not recommend that movie to anybody, but also I'll love it forever because a movie of the pals. So it's
Are
better
there any
than
other
that.
movies like that you hold very near and dear to your heart, but you cannot recommend to anyone?
Well, the thing is in those cases, I don't know if I could tell. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know,
Hmm.
like it's too in there. I don't know if I could tell if it was terrible or not because I've imprinted on it so much. Like, is The Coneheads a great movie? Or did I?
No, but
But I love it so much. It's like the dad. sings his daughter's song to Narfel the Garthak. It's just a heartwarming moment.
Absolutely. I mean, and I love Dan Aykroyd just as a writer. I think he's incredible. I had no idea, like, he wasn't ever intended to be a performer on Saturday Night Live. He was just a writer that they liked a lot, and he like had like goofy ideas, and they were like, "Ah, you get on stage too." But yeah, what's that one movie that he did that is so insane with the motorcycle twins and Demi Moore's in it?
Nothing
Ah,
but trouble.
that's it. That's it. Now that's a movie. Have you seen that one?
No, but it was an episode of How Did This Get Made, one of my favorite podcasts of all time, where they just review terrible movies.
Hmm.
And and they have moments where people are like, "No, it's a great movie." And everyone's like, "No, you've just imprinted on this weird movie." I
You
love
have
that
a
show.
trauma bond with the movie somehow. The images, because I saw that movie as a kid and I didn't remember the name of it, but I remembered the motorcycle twins. I remembered Demi Moore like sliding into a pile of bones. This is something I watched in elementary school and I probably should not have because it stuck with me for a very long time.
But is it one like you loved and then it was terrible, or did you know at the time, like, why is she in those bones?
Yeah, I think I was unsettled by the movie as a child even, but now I've grown a fondness for it. And I think, you know, maybe it's partially a source of some of the poison inside of myself, but it's fun. But
That's
it's interesting that it got made. That's what I really feel about it. It's like, wow, would a movie like this be made today? I don't think so. It's such a big gamble. Like they really just went all in on Dan Aykroyd's vision, and it was like the most insane shit I've ever seen.
yeah, if that episode of How Did This Get Made ever comes through the feed again, I'll send it to you about Nothing But
Okay.
Trouble.
Yes, I want
Um,
to see it.
because they got into it. They got all into it about choices being made.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
pretty funny.
what is like one movie for you that's like, I love it, I'm not sure if it's good.
Well, honestly, I hate to say it. I love Austin Powers. I defend it to the death. I love that movie, but I didn't realize like there was like kind of I watched it with a trans friend without realizing there's like an anti-trans joke, and then I was like, oh man, that sucks. Like I was like, I
Mm,
wouldn't have shown them this movie if I knew that there was like something like that in there. But I think
mm,
there's a lot of older comedies that I don't even remember the offensive shit that's in it. So I
mm.
don't stand by anything, to be honest. I'm just like, I like it. Who knows?
Yeah, it was the past. Well,
The
most of the past was a problematic time.
yes, exactly.
I just watched the movie His Girl Friday for the first time ever, which is made in like the 40s, and it's basically like this girl is a writer at a newspaper. She was married to the editor guy, and then she left him. She's marrying some new guy, and then the whole movie he's trying to like trap her back into the newspaper and like get rid of her new fiance, and also like the death penalty is part of it somehow. Like they're helping a murderer escape, but also saying like, oh, that poor murderer guy, and we can't let him get the death penalty, and then we're helping him escape and it's like the whole government's corrupt, and the people are like, this is like a light comedy. Like
That's
the
pretty funny.
choices were being made here that I don't agree with. But I mean, I saw it now, and so I'm wondering if it's just the 2024 lens. You just can't take it off anymore. The stuff you saw before is fine, like it got through, but the stuff you see now, it's
It's
through the
blocked.
lens. Yeah.
Hmm. That's funny. Yeah, a lot of stuff like way back in the day, like I think like vaudeville humor holds up. Silent era comedy holds up. Like Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, but I think like 50s and 60s, a lot of it's so damn boring. Somebody needs
Mm.
to find a good comedy of that era to convince me, but
And I know Lady was in a music video at least one, and some commercials. So we'll have to ask her about that next time,
Definitely.
what the industry is like. And you make your own content. So how is that like working with all the personalities?
It's great. It's honestly the best thing that I've ever done ever. It's all the people I've met out here that want to help me with the project, they add so much to them, which is fantastic. And I started just doing stuff only on my own, but that was just out of necessity. Like now that I actually have people that are like buying into doing videos out here, it's a dream. It's truly I love it so much.
And you're doing the improv too. Are you like part of a troupe or is it just like we're at this one theater?
I've actually dropped improv. I don't think improv is the thing for me because I get rumination too hard. And after every performance, I would just be running it through my head over and over again of like, oh God, I should have done this or this. And like, I do think it takes me a while to come up with what I think is the best idea. So writing is more suited to me. So I've stepped away from improv, but just, I'm finishing up a sketch team at the Bird. But really, the big goal for this year I want to make a movie. That's the goal for 2024. I'm telling too many people and getting myself painted into a corner about it because I want to make a movie.
Now, I think this is the great thing about telling so many people and painting yourself in a corner is now you're like, you feel like you have to hold yourself accountable. You have to go for it.
Exactly.
And that will
It's
be a motivator.
I need the fear. I need the panic. I need the fear of looking like a bullshit artist that's just like, "Oh yeah, I'm totally gonna I can't live with myself if I don't do it before the end of this year. I will disappoint you too hard. I can see it in your face. You're ready to be disappointed, but I'm gonna make you proud."
I'm never ready to be disappointed. I
Just
believe in you
kidding.
so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, do you have a script or
So I have scenarios. I'm trying to do it Christopher Guest style because I have some great improv actors out here, and really I'm just giving them this is your character background and this is what needs to happen in the scene, and
mm,
we'll just see. And it might change and evolve all throughout the filming process. We're gonna see.
might be a little mumblecore in that way, where they just tell people this is what the point we need to get to and
Yes,
yeah.
yes, like Christopher Guest level is what I'm thinking. Like a best in show type of thing would be a dream, but we'll see.
And we'll see in 2024 or later. Like,
2024.
I guess all you'd need to do is like film it this year and then you could take your time editing it.
Absolutely. The goal is just to get the footage. And even if I only get, most honestly, all the goals I set for myself, I generally blow past whatever the original deadline was. I don't think I've ever stuck to a deadline. There's one video I started and wanted to release in the fall of 2022 that I didn't release until like January of last year. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
I'm looking forward to it, even if it's in 2028. It's an Olympic year. Great year for a
Yeah.
movie release.
Thank you.
Uh,
Yes. I'll invite you to the red carpet.
I appreciate that. I need events to go to. All right. Well, I am genuinely, sincerely rooting for you. This is the one
Aw,
moment the irony is not taking over my soul.
let it in.
It's,
The
no, I
sincerity.
don't
Let
think
it flow
so.
through you. Let it take over.
No. But thank you so much for, hopping on in the middle of the night. I hope our missing friend is safe wherever she may be. I think she has two
Lady,
shows
where is
this weekend.
she?
So maybe she's prepping for her two shows this weekend.
Hmm.
Performing, being a singer. It's the life. Your guys are creatives. That's why I'm so drawn to you or
Oh,
your
stop.
personalities or something. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know about that one. That's I don't know.
sounds fake.
Sounds fake. Yeah, not
Uh,
right.
but anyway, thank you so much for staying up with me tonight. You have a good night. Everyone
Yes,
have a
you
good night.
too. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening. Our theme song is Wouldn't It Be Nice by Sound Mirage featuring Lady Rand. Please rate and review, download, subscribe, all the things. And you can email us at amcrewatch@gmail.com. Thanks. Talk to you next week.